Welcome back. In our last lesson, we talked about answering the question, does God exist, from a scientific, technical, and a logical approach. And as I told you at the end, now we're going to ask the same question, but do it from a biblical approach. The Apostle Paul stated, quote, "For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and the sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see His invisible qualities, His power, and His divine nature." Key line here. So they have no excuse for not knowing God. That's Romans 1:20. Think about that for a minute. No excuse for not knowing God. Creation itself screams of a creator. Ever walk out on a road at night, maybe out in the country somewhere, and look up at the stars in the sky? It's amazing how fast you feel so small. Or have you ever climbed a tall mountain and got to the top and looked around and saw peak after peak after peak after peak, and you realize how insignificant you really are? Well, we're here to talk about the person that made the peaks, the person that made the stars. As we said in the last video, key element of this, that belief in God is a choice. A choice. The Bible confirms this in many, many verses. Here's just a few. Psalm 14:1 says, "Only a fool says in his heart, there is no God." Only a fool. Psalm 10, "The wicked are too proud to seek God. They seem to think that God is dead." And later in Romans, Paul said, "They traded the truth about God for a lie. So they worshiped and served the things God created instead of the Creator Himself. And only He is worthy of eternal praise." Think about our world today. What do we worship? Our jobs, our money, hobbies, kids, ourselves, power, fame, our brains, our castles, our cars. But all those things in reality were created by God. And He is the one that should be worshiped, not things. More than that, God placed a desire for Him in our hearts. It tells us that in Ecclesiastes 3:11. There's a yearning and a belief that there's more to this life, that our purpose for being here isn't a random coincidence. Bottom line, God exists. As we said, logically there's proof, and biblically strong proof. And this is a core building block of a solid foundation of our faith. Now, from this point forward, we're going to tackle some additional questions about Him. For example, well, who is He, and is there anything that He can't do or anything that He won't do? And with all of this, what are we trying to know about Him? And more importantly then, how do we live? What do we do with what we know? See you soon.